Now, Hamas and Israel hostage release and ceasefire deal has been closed. So this is the big breaking news that is coming in as far as the war between Israel and Hamas is concerned. Now, as per Washington Post, the deal would free most of the Israeli women and children who were kidnapped on October 7th alongside Palestinian women and young people from Israeli prisons. While Israel seeks the release of all 100 captives, Hamas has agreed to free only 70 initially. Now, the number of Palestinians to be released remains uncertain, but estimates suggest that at least 120 could be released. Now, a temporary 5-day ceasefire is also proposed to ensure safe exchange and aid to Gaza civilians. And US President Joe Biden has supported this deal and has also appreciated Qatar, who is the mediator, for their efforts. And the US hopes that this deal will quell international outcry over the conflict. And the negotiations facilitated by Qatar involve Mossad and the Central Investigative Agency. And CNN News 18's Abhishek Jha is joining us to give us more details on the deal that we're learning has been closed between Israel and Hamas. Abhishek, over to you.
Well, this deal was being waited for a very long time because about 240 Israeli hostages that are still under the captivity of Hamas and some of its, sister concerns like Islamic Palestinian Jihad. They have been holding these people captive, and for days the negotiations are on. Various countries have also tried to pitch in for the release of these hostages in return of some sort of ceasefire or halt in counteroffensive that the Israeli side has launched. We have seen, apparently Qatar
किसी भी तरह गाजा से पीछे क्योंकि वो लगा.
So, big breaking news coming in amid the war between Israel and Hamas. What we're learning is that Hamas and Israel hostage release and ceasefire deal has been closed. Now, as per Washington Post, the deal would free most of the Israeli women and children kidnapped on October 7th. We have CNN News 18's Abhishek Jha with us to give us more details on this. Abhishek, over to you.
So, the entire hostage crisis that is for almost 4 weeks now, more than 4 weeks in fact, 5 weeks. So, this has been going on, and there are multiple channels through which Israeli side is trying to talk to Hamas and the Palestinian Jihad also, because the number of hostages are distributed among these two organizations who have been fighting most of the battles in the recent days against Israeli counteroffensive. So, the negotiations which this time has been a sort of, negotiated by Qatar, between Qatar and US secret officials with Israeli government and some representation from the Palestinian side as well, would ensure that about 100 hostages are released in return of a few days of halt in Israeli counteroffensive. There is a lot of outcry globally because of the humanitarian crisis that has emerged in Gaza, because of thousands of people who've been killed and innumerable numbers who have been displaced, and they don't have any access to basic amenities of life. There is the scarcity, there is a deep scarcity of food, fuel, or medical medicine. There are multiple hundreds, more than 100 officials or working people working with UN agencies. They have also been killed in the counteroffensive that Israel has launched in the wake of 7th October attack on terrorist attack. So in that context, this negotiation would some way give some sort of breather to the people in Gaza who could find themselves not under Israeli attack anymore for a few days, and in return of that, these hostages may be released back to Israel.